Hey everybody, this is Daniel Troutman. I'm doing another video today, one half of the tag team Bothersome Truth. You could check us out on YouTube. You can find our YouTube channel. Comment, subscribe, share. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Love to see your subscription. Today, I have a particular video that I want to do, and this one I don't think is going to be very long, but it's an idea that I just want to convey. I'm noticing it with everything going on in the news, the Dallas shootings, things going on with politics and Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, the shootings of Philando Castile and Alton Sterling, and the hanging that happened in Piedmont Park, and so many police brutality cases that have led to this point of civil unrest, of civil disobedience, protests, and anger. I see a lot of people who are doing everything possible to ensure that they can escape from all these stories. They are really jumping into their favorite topics, whether it's music, whether it's sports, apps like Pokemon Go. Now, just to be clear, I'm not knocking anybody who likes Pokemon Go. I'm not knocking if you like music or sports or anything like that. I understand that we have our interests in things that we enjoy. I also understand, just to be clear, people who are taking a mental health break from everything going on. If you're the kind of person who says, you know what, this is affecting my mental health, I've got to get to the point where I just take a break from all this. I get it. I understand. Take care of yourself. That is a smart thing to do because hopefully, I'm pretty sure you know yourself better than I do. But I want to talk about people who are, for whatever reason, not willing to deal with the things going on in the news, these events that speak to larger systemic problems. This escapism that people have, I want to bring to your attention the realization that if you are escaping the tragedies that go on in the world, the tragedies that go on in the United States, the things that go on, you are exercising a form of privilege. Because in essence, what you're doing is you are creating distance between yourself and a story that you are only afforded by a certain amount of privilege that you have. Okay, again, escapism comes from being able to create distance between yourself and an issue due to either ignorance or privilege. Okay, and this is important. So let me give an example. If you're the kind of person who looks at these stories going on in the news and you say, oh, honestly, I don't see where this is really a big deal. These are just isolated circumstances. I think people are just complaining about nothing. Then honestly, you have a particular form of ignorance or privilege. I don't know which one. You would know that better, hopefully, if you do any self-examination. And the reality is, if you say, you know what, I don't want to deal with this, I don't really want to think about this anymore, you're escaping it and you're running into something else. And the reality is you only have that ability because it's not affecting you that seriously. It's not hitting you to the core, because we all have issues that we really care about. We all have things that we will fight for, we will talk about, we will bring up because it's something that deeply affects us. And we all have things that don't deeply affect us as much. I'm a black man in America. So these issues affect me because this could be my life on the line when a police officer pulls me over. This could be my little brother's life on the line, my younger sister. This could be friends, family, nieces, nephews. People I know could become hashtags because they have an encounter with police, and for whatever reason the police officer decides to make an example out of them. So this issue hits home for me. If you're a person who's not a minority and you've never had to deal with this, I understand if this is a foreign concept for you. However, I do also want to say that if you aren't willing to grapple with these issues, then there is an escapism that you have the privilege of being able to have. Or if you refuse to really investigate these issues, then you have an ignorance level that you may not want to address that allows you to be able to just breeze right by it. This is not just with police brutality. This is with government corruption and government corruption in politics. This is with foreign policy and the way that we bomb the Middle East. We kill civilians. This has been happening under President Obama and President Bush. We have these wars that are unjustified. We're sending our veterans into enemy fire, and there's no true justification for these things. Our foreign policy is creating the conditions for terrorism, including the conditions for ISIS. If you look at those stories and say, I don't want to deal with that, you want to escape into tracking your favorite fantasy football or fantasy basketball team, then you're activating a privilege that says, I don't have to deal with this, therefore I choose not to. And I'm saying it's easy to do that. It's harder to grapple with the issues. I know these issues keep me up at night. It wears me out sometimes to think about the amount of suffering that goes on in this world. But I would rather consciously suffer because of the suffering of others. I would rather consciously bear the weight of the suffering that goes on in this country and around the world than to live in blissful ignorance because I refuse to acknowledge the problems that go on in the world, and therefore I am becoming a part of the very problems in this world. Understand that when you activate your privilege to escape, no matter who you are, no matter what your background is, you are becoming part of the problem. Okay, there's no neutrality. If you see that people are suffering and you say nothing or you do nothing or you ignore it, you have made yourself part of the problem. My hope is that we would be willing to say, hey, I would rather not escape everything all the time. I'm going to confront these issues. I'm going to bring awareness to it. I'm going to speak truth to power so that hopefully we can end things like global hunger, police brutality, U.S. interventionism, U.S. imperialism. The list goes on. Our veterans being ignored. This is more than just one issue. Escapism keeps us from addressing so many issues, and I'm really hoping if you watch this video and the whole thing that you will consider stopping that behavior. Again, this is Daniel Troutman from Bothersome Truth, and I hope you have a good day.